It is sweeping the nation, and this year with a brand new twist. We are focusing on the game last night. Harry, take it away.
But first, Mike T, get ready. Stretch those hips out. There we go.
All
Mike
right.
Tannenbaum is ready. Let's go ahead and get to the game last night. I'm going to start with the defense of the Seattle Seahawks. 6 sacks, 2 interceptions last night. You see Owusu right here going to sack Kyler Murray. That is not easy to do. Guys miss him, sack him. Next play, you're going to have Leonard Williams. Look at the big man getting through, sacking Kyler Murray again. And then last but not least, Bart, you know this. Tips and overthrows go the other way. Look at Ernest Jones, the fourth. Every time you have a Roman numeral behind your name, that's a great human being. I'm Harry Douglas the fourth, Ernest Jones the fourth. Hey, Seattle's defense, that boy bad. Next, we're going to the wide receiver world. Jackson Smith-Njigba on this hitch and go. It's all about selling the head. The head game is most important. That's what he does, and he goes and gets that hitch and go. The chemistry between him and Sam Darnold is unbelievable. Game on the line, back shoulder fade, money in the bank. Tell me what you think. Jackson Smith-Njigba, that boy bad. And last but not least, give me Sam Darnold for 20, please. Look at this first touchdown. 16-yard touchdown catch by tight end A.J. Varner. Great ball placement, but watch this. By time, extend the play, give my tight end a chance. Elijah Arroyo with the first down, 32-yard explosive play. And then
our attention now to the game of the weekend. Certainly, listen to what he said.
You got to ask Jerry and Micah. To me, the closure happened when the trade happened. As I said, to me now it's just be fun to play against a friend. Just getting to go out there and compete with a guy that's a good friend that that I've competed with in numbers of ways throughout this building, outside of this building. Yeah, just excited to go and have that matchup, but I hope it's not for me. And I hope he doesn't get to me for one. So.
Bart, I thought you made an interesting point earlier that Micah Parsons will try and make this like any other game, but you've lived this. There's just no way to do that.
It's emotional. That was a place he thought he was going to be drafted by and be one of those one guys that starved the organization, lead with the organization. He did everything that he was supposed to on the field, and they decided to go off. So you can't not take that personal. And I don't know about anybody else, but I always wanted to beat my friends worse than I wanted to beat anybody else, because I knew that we knew common people and we was going to see each other in the streets and we was going to have a conversation about it.
So you think this isn't a particularly important game for him? Mike?
Greedy, from a team-building standpoint, we use the term force multiplier a lot. This is an infomercial of why having a pass rusher is so important. The back end of Dallas is just splintering. Look, Deron Bland's been hurt, but Trayvon Diggs, Donovan Wilson, on and on and on. Greedy, they cannot hold up and they can't get pressure. So when you're trying to construct a team, you're saying, well, what can we do? And Micah Parsons really just made up for so many vulnerabilities. They're all being exposed. This is really worst case scenario for the Cowboys.
I'm trying to find ways that the Cowboys can make this a game. And I keep coming to the name George Pickens. They're playing without CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys are playing without the best player remaining on their team. And Jerry was talking about IR, so he's going to be gone a while. This is an opportunity, once, and maybe his last, for George Pickens to prove he belongs where he looks like his talent should put him.
And Greeny, I'm going to use the word trust. Can the Dallas Cowboys, his teammates, can Brian Schottenheimer, as an offensive-minded head coach, can you trust George Pickens to be that number one? CeeDee Lamb is not mysteriously walking through the door and coming out there on that football field. He had a drop last week that led to an interception. Can they trust you to block in the run game? Can they trust you to win one-on-one and do it consistently over and over and over again? But here's the kicker about the Dallas Cowboys. If they want an opportunity to win this game, it's going to be about running the football. Right now, you look at the Dallas Cowboys, they're 11th right now in the NFL rushing the football. Javonte Williams, thanks to the himbo, 5.3 yards per carry, 14 rushing touchdowns. You kind of got to play keep away because you know your defense can't stop anybody.
Detroit couldn't run the football against them. Washington couldn't run the football against them. The Browns had 3 points.
Them being Green Bay, to be clear.
Yeah, we're underestimating how good this Green Bay defense is, that we're saying, well, George Pickens got to step. Amon-Ra couldn't do anything against them, and McLaurin couldn't do anything against them. So to me, what's the term? Schadenfreude? Like that's what this feels like. Everything that's going wrong for the Cowboys, and if you're a Cowboys hater, it's going to be on full display on national TV. And I know NBC isn't just sending the Sunday night crew, they're sending their fantasy show, they're sending everybody there. This feels like it's got a blowout in the making, and I, in my head, cannot find a way that Dallas avoids that from happening.
To Jerry's credit, they only surrendered in 3.7 yards per carry, so they are stopping the run.
Yes, well, that's because no one will be dumb enough to run the ball against them. The wide receivers are running so open, I feel like I could throw it to them. I say this, because it's no secret. I like the Cowboys being good. It's good I'm in the interesting business, and people are interested in them. I'm very worried about them falling out of this thing completely without Schadenfreude, by the way.
That's a good word. There it is.
Pleasure derived from another person.
That's what I'm bringing to get up every morning.
The other variable is this, Greedy. When you're in the Dallas Cowboy offensive huddle, you're expecting we got to be perfect. Like, go back to that Bear game last week. As soon as they punted once, the game was over. And if you're Dak Prescott and you're trying to get George Pickens going, it's a really terrible feeling.
Things happen in the NFL all the time. And we make these graphics all the time. And I always say, is everybody picking one side? Because if they are, I go the other way. The league is built on, and there we go. So if the league is built on things you don't expect to happen happening, and that's why this game is going to be closer. It's a 6.5-point spread. Am I telling you the Cowboys are going to win? No. Am I telling you if I was going to play this game, I would take the points? I would, because weird things happen, and this is the perfect spot for that.
The recent history doesn't help Dallas either, though. And Adam Schefter was great all week on this point. The last 6 times these two teams played in Dallas, Green Bay has won, and there's been much better Cowboys teams going up against those Packers teams. I don't see it, and yet, to your point, I've been covering this way too long for this not to be an obvious Dallas upset.
So surprising that you would, not pick the Dallas Cowboys, but you picked the Giants against the best team in the AFC. Yeah, interesting. Make it make sense.
I don't understand. Bart with the non sequitur. So the point that I'm making.
Was that a sugar?
Are you worried that the Cowboys fall out of this thing completely? I mean, you get blown out in this game. Now you're 1-3. I think there's cause for concern.
But I don't think the Commanders are as good as we anticipated. And I think that offensively, when they get CeeDee Lamb back, if Pickens can just kind of pick up the slack and they can kind of stay afloat a little bit, I think offensively they'll be able to try and win games like the Bengals tried to win before Joe Burrow got.
Greeny, when you're building a team in September and you're saying, where's hope coming? We talked a lot about Kansas City getting better, Baltimore with Van Noy coming back, and, Matt Abuike. If you're the Dallas Cowboys on defense, how are you getting better? Where is help coming from? And to me, that's a very dire feeling where you feel hopeless. I mean,
Overshaw's coming back eventually.
Well, to your point, Mike T.
Super quick.
The O-line of the Green Bay Packers, they weren't great last week versus the Cleveland Browns, right?
They got blown up.
They have to step up big in this matchup too.
We'll see what one.